Okay, welcome back to our series on building a campaign with the Covetous Poet with the help of little Gemini over here. And we have, in the previous video, we talked about the setup, the plot sheet, and now we are on to Act 1. So in the Covetous campaign, or sorry, the Covetous Poet PDF, we need to find out an initial oddity. This is something strange that is going on that catches the interest of the PCs. I have um, I have generated it already. There's rumors about the fields and stuff, really strange things going on there. What the player characters can investigate possible connections, and then we need an inciting incident. So we will do that. Let me get my GM's apprentice here. Looks like that's back online. That's good. Let me move him there. There we go. Reroll that. Grab our inciting incident prompt and we will see what we get. So we got our inciting incident here. The player characters will receive a strange letter from a messenger, and it has a cryptic message and enchanted letter, and the words are moving around and everything. And possible messages. So these are things that can be decided in the moment or when we put everything together. And now we will start figuring out our events. If you caught my first video, you would know that the Covetous Poet, it builds an entire campaign, and that includes 3 acts, at least as by default. And each of those acts contains a certain number of scenes, and in Act 1, each scene is called an event. So each event has ideas that it's inspired by. It tells us what's happening, the action and thing, the plot device, the opposition that we might encounter, and the location. When I see this or here, I'm going to go ahead and choose myself what I think is most interesting, because if you leave this up to Gemini, it just gets a little confused, and yeah, we'll choose our own. I personally feel like conspirators is pretty interesting, so we'll go with that. And then we will generate this event. Okay, so it made this little event here based on these ideas. And it even made these little dialogue snippets, which I thought was pretty cool. So what we're going to do now, I'm not going to go over each of these. I'm just going to go ahead and I am going to generate the rest of the events here. And once I'm done, then we will move on to Act 2. And the reason I'm not going over these is because I will eventually go over them whenever I play this campaign. So, yeah. Okay, I have finished generating the events for Act 1 based on the ideas that I had generated prior. And I'm not going to go through the details. Gemini gave a pretty good format for each event. My idea is that I would like to be somewhat surprised. So I don't plan on actually reading them until they come up. So in the meantime, I asked it to make to summarize the events of Act 1. And so we have here, they encounter unsettling events. Alara Thorne enters the scene. Somebody's framed and imprisoned. There's an escape, and there's corrupted stables. Betrayal revealed. Lara's capture and the feud. You can see it took it literally. The plot device was the Hatfields and the McCoys to talk about the plot should be a feud between families. Obviously, when that comes up, we will change the details there. Pariah's trial, the Fire Rebels and the warehouse, and then a disguised ghost. And we will not read the details of these events. We will just move on to Act 2. Okay, and I have generated all of the content for the challenges for Act 2. Then I asked Gemini to give me the key events. So, free the red herring, survive a demonic attack, facing a dangerous escape, choosing between reconnaissance and rescue, exploring or exposing a conspiracy, deciphering a message. A lot of the here, it did a good job of giving us choices. The PCs will have choices of what they can do within the scene, and then facing a sacrifice and a difficult choice. And now we will go on to Act 3, which is just the finale. There are no scenes, and really what you're supposed to do, instead of the way that I'm doing it right now, when it comes to the finale, you're supposed to see where you end up by challenge number 9, which is the last challenge of Act 2. And then the finale should flow naturally from that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this prompt to have it generate a finale. And then whenever we get there after we play the game, then if it needs to be finagled or changed so that it makes sense with what's happened by the time we get to the last challenge scene, then we will do that. And now we have our finale. This actually is a pretty overarching picture here that it gave us, so nothing super specific. It just tells us what our villain finally is after, and then we have to fight to stop it from happening. It gives outcomes, epilogue. I'm not entirely sure how I'll use any of those in the moment, but we will see. And that is a lot quicker than creating and explaining the plot sheet. It probably helps that I didn't go through every single aspect, every single event and challenge, but that's okay because as we continue this series, the next video will be setting up the character sheet and starting the game. And until next time, this is Savvy Go Solo, and I hope to catch you for the future video. And see ya.